I've been teaching the history of rock and roll since 2002, and basically I talk about the six main pioneers of rock and roll. There's other ones like Sister Tharp, and she passed away in 1973. And the ones that had a lot of hits on the charts, Buddy Holly died in 1959, was one of the first rock and roll deaths, of course. Elvis Presley passed away at 42 in 1977. Chuck Berry passed away in 2017. Pat Stamino passed away in 2017 also. And today, sadly, Little Richard passed away in 2020. And the last of the big pioneers that are still alive is Jerry Lee Lewis. He was born in 1935, and the killer is still alive as of today. And so we have a couple nicknames for rock and roll legends and whatnot. Of course, we call Elvis the King of Rock and Roll. At one point, Little Richard crowned himself the King of Rock and Roll, and later on he started using the term the architect of rock and roll. And I think that really sums it up a great deal. His energy he has when he's playing the piano. And Fats Domino, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Little Richard, were the piano players. Chuck Berry comes around and playing guitar, and of course Buddy Holly's writing his songs and playing guitar as well. Elvis was definitely a performer, that synthesized all the different genres that were around in the 50s, and got the whole world basically rocking out and whatnot. And Little Richard's life is pretty amazing. He was one of 12 children, and born in 1932, and of course sang in church and whatnot like that. And basically leaves his house, gets kicked out basically, and moves in with another family. And one of his childhood friends is actually Otis Redding and whatnot. And he heard his country music and rock and roll music, and while working at a concession stand. And basically gets his first record deal after performing at the Tick Tock Club in Macon, Georgia, and winning a local talent show. And he gets with RCA in 1951. And he becomes known as Little Richard because he was about 15 years old. And at that time, there were a lot of little acts like Little Esther and Little Milton. And so Little Richard was kind of going along with that. And also, he kind of got tired that people would mispronounce his name and basically call him like Penniman instead of Penniman. And of course, he had this fun piano style that he played and whatnot, and had his hair really high in the air and whatnot. And basically, when he is washing dishes in a Greyhound bus station in Macon, and he got that job because his dad passed away, and he needed to take care of his family. So he's working there, washing dishes and whatnot, and basically he's starts adding some of this boogie woogie music in there, this rock and roll sounds, and comes up with this novelty song called Tutti Frutti. The lyrics at the time were really scandalous, and they cleaned up the lyrics tremendously to be able to get it on the radio and whatnot. And so it goes on the charts and whatnot, and gets up to the 17th position on the charts and everything. And of course, all the other great hits, Long Tall Sally and whatnot like that, Slipping and Sliding and whatnot. And just great music. He was in a couple of films, Don't Knock the Rock in 1956, and The Girl Can't Help It in 1957. And basically, we got those videos that you can show and watch today and see the energy he has as he's performing as well. So basically, he basically starts having these signs that come to him that there would be a plane crash going on, and he saw something in the sky, and they kind of think that might be Sputnik that he was seeing, and basically gives up rock and roll music, and goes to the Alabama Bible School, Oakwood College, and becomes ordained as a minister, and basically he puts out another gospel album, God Is Real, in 1959, and he really realizes that he could actually play rock and roll music. So in '64, basically comes back and goes to the UK and have a little group called the Beatles open up for him in the Hamburg Star Club, and the Beatles were just enamored hearing him play, and basically even reading the Bible backstage and whatnot. John Lennon would talk about And so, yeah. So Little Richard, basically in the 70s and going into the 80s, he basically also has some movies that he was in. I think a lot of folks probably know him from a couple of those films that he were in, like Down and Out in Beverly Hills, and he was even in Full House and Miami Vice and whatnot. So, just and it's interesting to read the books he's put out, and we'll listen to his interviews, and of course we'll always have Little Richard's music to respond to and love. And I'll tell you, the one thing for me, when I listen to those early records, the recording technology is, it's horrible by today's standards in a lot of ways, but golly, there's an energy to them. It's distorted going on. And there's that wop bop loop bop wop bam boom, and it's just in the stratosphere up there. And young people always look for honest, truthful music. And I think at that time when you heard that energy, that driving backbeat that's going on there on that boogie woogie piano, is great. And pretty much when I open up the rock history class, I sit down there and I play boogie woogie piano. And I don't really practice piano that much anymore. And I'm really loose in a lot of ways and really rusty. But there's that beat when you're just banging out those chords. There's just an energy to that as well. So, Little Richard, thank you for all the music you gave us. One of the last of the surviving pioneers of rock and roll. And I know, looking on social media and whatnot, there's a lot of folks that really respect the music that Little Richard put out. And makes me happy that folks are still rocking out with those sounds. And I think I remember the first time I heard "Good Golly Miss Molly," I was probably I'm sure I heard it before this, but for some reason third grade pops to mind. And there's some type of energy to that music that was there. And this is long before I played piano or anything like that. And actually, it took me. I had to go through a lot of years of classical playing to be able to do those boogie woogie sounds. So, yeah. But yeah, it's pretty amazing in a lot of ways. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this little tribute to Little Richard. As always, rock and roll, and of course, it does compute. If you like this type of amazing content, please subscribe to my YouTube channel because that would totally compute it.